Okay, so we are ready to move on to our next project. So if you are part of our combo club, then you're going to get this adorable shelf sitter that says Baking Spirits Bright. This is gonna look so cute in my kitchen. I just love it. I was so excited when Heather came up with this project for this box because I was like, I know exactly where that's gonna go, because I've been trying to go to a little gingerbread theme in my kitchen anyway, so this works out perfect. So we're just gonna open this and get our pieces laid out. Not a whole lot, oh, and then drop it. Not a whole lot of new techniques with this, honestly. It's primarily the same thing that you've been doing. Just get your surface cleaned up, and we're gonna use the tape method of taping things down. So I think the best thing for me is knowing what color I'm gonna paint things. It makes things go a lot faster if you can tape things out in color what you're going to do them. So that is the first thing that I do. Let's see, I know my gingerbread men, I know, are going to be oak, right? We got some icing that is probably gonna be white. These gingerbread men are gonna be white. This is a rolling pin, so it's a rogue thing, and then we have a whisk. These are our two rogue things, so that's what we got silver for. I'm gonna use this light tan for a rolling pin with our little gingerbread men. We're gonna have a lot of white on this, so definitely all the icing for our gingerbread man's accents. He does have a little heart and some buttons. Where did all his buttons go? 1, 2. I know things just flew. Oh, there it is. Put his little buttons. When I got little tiny pieces like this, the closer I can get them, the better. It makes painting a little bit more, little less time consuming. We're gonna paint this background a red color for us, and the words are gonna be white, so they're gonna pop right off. That is completely up to you. I know I'm gonna do it different when I do it at home. So excited to see how everybody does theirs. But today we're gonna paint them like that, the background red. And then you've got some little bowls here, and you can do these in a different way. So you're gonna have a silver whisk on them and a red heart. So we do have the pink, and I like to lay my colors out like what I'm doing. It just helps me think about what I'm doing better. So I think I'm gonna do 2 pink bowls and then 1 green bowl. I'm gonna do that, maybe. Or maybe 2 green bowls and 1 pink bowl. I might do that today. And then we've got a spoon here, and I think I'm gonna do my spoon silver as well. And then my icing is going to be white icing, so I'm gonna put that down with my white. And then my little gingerbread men, little gingies. And then the baking word will be white as well. So I'm just gonna get to painting on this. It's using the same techniques pretty much. So I'm gonna use oak for my gingerbread men and white for a lot of this. So remember how we did our sponges earlier? We've already used these sponges. Remember I said you can cut off that bottom because it's been a little bit. It took a while to put that snow globe together. I'm just gonna freshen up my sponges here. I'm gonna get a fresh new white one because I have a lot of white to do. And I'm just turning these into basically a new sponges. So I am gonna use 1 red one for this, but I'm also going to use red on my background of this thing. So I'm going to cut my yellow sponge in half so that I have enough to do my whole background piece. I'm gonna do it red, and then probably my base is oak, just to offset that some. Bring that gingerbread man down there. So that works for that. So I'll put these up here by my gingerbread. And remember, on the bigger areas, we use the big yellow sponge. So I'm gonna open my red here. I'm going to dip in. I'm gonna scrape off all that excess. And then I'm gonna just start rubbing that in. So we'll take 2 coats of red. Think about where you're gonna set this in your kitchen. Think about, do I need to paint the background? I have an island, I have a center island that I put a lot of this stuff on, and so I know it's gonna be seen from all sides, so I'm definitely gonna be painting the back of mine. But that's something to keep in mind. If you know it's gonna be in a place where you're never gonna see it and you don't wanna paint the back, don't paint the back. But we are gonna paint the back today just to make it a finished product. We do have a couple makers that like to get their box finished. That is an option. For those that didn't know it, I know most people like to do it so that they can pick what they want, but then this way it's all ready to go. Always think about the back of your project. It definitely finishes it if you just add even a stain coat to the back. It gives it a nicer look. And then this can be a one coat background and it gives it more of a stained red look, or you can do 2 coats to give it more of a solid background. And think about what you want it to look like. You can also add some white distressing to it. If you want to add some of that to it, completely up to you. Just letting this first coat get on there, spreading out any paint, let that dry. While I got my red paint open, I'm going to go ahead and hop on my hearts. You could have pink hearts if you want to, and green hearts if you want to. Totally up to you, but I'm gonna do red today. 2 little red hearts, one goes on my gingerbread boy and one goes on my mixing bowls. I'm gonna do that. And then I'll just keep working across here. I've already got things laid out, so once again, just dip in, scrape off all that excess, and then hop. Remember, if you get too much paint on that sponge, go ahead and hop on that table on your paper towel before you go onto your wood piece so that you don't have any extra oozing down, especially on your letters, your icing, all those little things. It really will affect the look of your project, and we want you to have an amazing project when you're done. Take the time, do those multiple thin coats. Okay, green. Ooh, first go to green done. Go to our gingerbread men. They are so cute. This sponge is still in great shape, so I'm just dipping into that. I love doing me some stains because I'm just gonna paint everywhere on here because we've got everything else is gonna get attached to this, so you don't have to worry about staying in any lines. You can paint this gingerbread man or stain this gingerbread man all one color, not a problem. Just keep spreading it out until none of that stain is dry. Use the other side of the sponge if you've got an area that does seem wet. And then you should have enough left in there to go in and do your gingerbread men. These are gonna go on the rolling pin, and then it's gonna give that look. If you've seen fancy rolling pins that have where you can get the pad, where you roll the pattern into a dough because there's things on it, that's what that's mimicking. So you can roll the gingerbread men into your dough. We're gonna do our, while I've got that oak, I think I'm gonna do the stem, the handle of my little whisk here with that, okay? And then I'm gonna do the top of my whisk will be silver, and also for my spoon, it's gonna be a silver metal spoon. You do a wooden spoon, do that spoon whatever you want it to be. We're just gonna say it's a little metal spoon though. This makes me think of going to my grandma's for baking. Old-fashioned Christmas right here. Usually do the bigger areas and then come back in and you'll have enough paint left on your sponge to get your little whisk painted. 1 coat of the silver usually is enough. Covering real good. So I'm going to cover that up. Now this red coat over here has been drying long enough, so I'm gonna go back and get that another coat on my background. Like I said, if you like the look of just 1 coat on this, just do 1 coat. It has almost more of a, you can see some of that natural wood. It's all personal preference for sure for that. Just keep going back and working on this in between your other things so that it will, you can finish it about the same time, because especially if you're gonna do the back side. Make sure you give it time to get all your coats done that you want. It's looking good, okay? Getting my nails. I just cleaning my nails off so that I don't get red paint on everything else. Because now we got a pink bowl to do. Like I said, you can do your bowls whatever colors you want. If you wanted to do two pink bowls, 1 green bowl, I just wouldn't do them the same color as your background, so plan that out and then think about it. You're always thinking about your main things. You definitely want your words to pop. So a white background, red letters, that pops real good. Okay, it's looking pretty good. And then I think I'm just gonna do my little buttons white. Oh, I think the paint just busted open, dropped it. If you have black at home and you want to paint them black, you could do them silver. But for simplicity, I'm just gonna keep them white today. Same technique, dip in, scrape off. We have a ton of little white things to paint, so just take your time. Fast forward, not much to see right here. Take your time, definitely getting that excess paint off so that you can have your letters painted nice and not a lot of over on the outside edge. Real light hopping right on top keeps that from happening. Keeping a little paint on your sponge and not pushing down hard is what's gonna keep that paint from oozing off to the side. Give you a nicer finished product. It's a really cute font that they used in these letters. I like it. I feel like I need some Christmas music playing in the background back here. You're starting to hear it everywhere you go now. We definitely have the Christmas product coming out. Lots of cute projects. We just had our launch party last night, which was a lot of fun. Our launch parties are the first Tuesday of the month. And the great thing about it is, so it's gonna be all of our new designs that are coming out for that month. And if you come to our launch party that night, not only are we going to give you something yummy to eat, and it's just fun to get together with everybody, you also get 25% off your project that night. So it's a great way for us to take that project. We do ask that you let us take great pictures of you with your finished product so that we can show people online. It helps us get more ideas, let people see different ways to paint a project, because that's the great thing about our studio is that you can make the project your own. Just because we paint it this way doesn't mean you have to. So it's good for people to see that it can be painted a different way, because some people have to see it before they know what they want. It really helps us with that, so that's why we're going to give you that 25% off. Provide a fun night. I love that it's on Tuesday because there's not a lot usually going on Tuesdays. So it's just another night we've opened our studio for you to come in and paint with us. So I just got the first coat on our baking board, which is big. Lots of detail to this one. This is definitely gonna be 2 coats on the white. We're gonna do the same little trick I told you last time of doing 1 coat and then cutting the bottom off of the sponge and doing the 2nd coat. Going around these little angles on some of these pieces can be a little challenging sometimes. Like right there, I twisted my sponge and I did get all in the inside there. So I'm just taking my wet wipe and cleaning that up a little bit. If that doesn't bother you, don't worry about it. A lot of people, it doesn't bother at all. Some people, it bothers a lot. So you just gotta know you and what's gonna bother you. But it is easy to clean up if you have a wet wipe. Just keep some baby wipes right there with you when you're painting. That's what I have up on my little table at my house. I paint. It's hot popping over here, you can't even see it. I'm running out of room, there's so many little pieces. That's all I'm doing is hopping. Area down in that crevice. Tweezers, man, I'm telling you, they're great for everything. And then we got our B. Baking starts with B. I think whenever you have these little curvy pieces like this, irregular sizes and shapes, it's a little bit more challenging just to work around a little bit. So just take your time. It's not hard, it's a little bit more challenging than a straight line of letters that are all put together. I love that our projects are something that everybody can do. We try to make it so that everybody can find their inner artist. That's our little motto. So it's definitely something we strive for here. We want everyone to come in and feel creative and leave with a project that they love. So we want the same thing for you at home too. Okay, so I made it through all of that. Now I can start right back over because this is definitely dry by the time I made it through all that. Oh, I'm gonna do my tips. Cutting that bottom off. Now starting with a fresh new sponge basically. So I am going to pop on my paper, push that paint up in there. That helps too when you do a new sponge. Okay, yeah, 2 coats is great. Technique helps a lot. If I had used that same sponge, I just feel like it it then needs a third coat. I like to do 2 coats. But I want it to look great too. So hopefully that tip works for you. Hopefully you like it. Definitely, if you guys are not on our PGM Maker Box group on Facebook, go look that up. And once you paint your project, please put it up there. Show people what you did. Show it to us in your home. We would love to see that. Take a picture of you holding it with a selfie if you feel comfortable doing that. We just love seeing our makers with their projects, loving their projects in their house. So it helps us a lot to show, and it helps our other makers, because I know that people will get on there and be like, wait, when did you paint this? How did you paint it? Because they want to see it. Just like I was saying with our launch party, they want to see things painted different ways, but they need to see it. Not everybody can come up with the different ways and different colors to paint stuff until they see it. And then they're like, yep, that's exactly what I want. So we love it when people share their project and how they painted it, and especially where it's sitting in your house, you know, how you styled it in your house, how you staged it. We love to see all that. So we are getting through the second. I feel like the second coat always goes a little bit faster than the first coat too on painting, because it's already, that porous surface has already soaked up some of that paint, so it doesn't take as hard. It's not as hard to take for the second one. Almost there. Down to our little baking word. Baking. Who's baking for the holidays? Who likes to do all the cookie trays and all that? I want to be friends with you. I love looking at that, but man, it's so much involved. I used to do cookie exchanges, and that was always fun, because if you brought one type of cookie, I just don't know anybody that wants to do those anymore. When my kids were young, I was part of all these different mom groups, and we were always looking for ways to make holidays magical without spending a bunch of time, because it is so much easier to make 4 or 5 dozen of one style of cookie and then go and trade and get a bunch of different styles of cookies and try different recipes. And I love doing cookie exchanges. Any cookie exchanges, let me know. I'd love to be part of that again. It's definitely a lot of fun. But I do enjoy baking, so I think that's why I love this sign so much. I do cakes. My son always has to have a cheesecake. That's his birthday cake, and then he always wants one at Christmas. So I've gotten fairly decent at cheesecakes. Cheesecakes are hard, like you do the water bath and all that. So I wouldn't say I'm an expert. I would never claim that. Yeah, but they're pretty good. I can get them where they don't crack on the top anymore. So I find that an accomplishment when it doesn't crack and it's creamy, not dried out. We can't all be the Cheesecake Factory, right? But he likes to mix it up and do all different flavors. So this year he wanted a pretty plain one. He just wanted a cheesecake with raspberry topping. I was like, oh, okay, that's easy, I can do that. He made it easy on Mom this time, but he's done pumpkin, different versions of pumpkin several times. Done like a 2-layer pumpkin cheesecake. That's so good. Last year I did butterbeer cheesecake. Like Harry Potter butterbeer. That's so good. That was actually one of my favorites. Red velvet also is another one of my favorite cheesecakes. Okay, so the white is all done. Oh, I forgot my buttons. Strike that. Pop. Now the white's all done. Starting to get that afternoon sun coming in here. I'm going to change positions here in a minute. Okay, so white is done. We got our rolling pin to go. I was out of sponges because I used white twice, so I just took one of my old white ones and cut it. Sponge still has life in it. Let's get this rolling pin with this tan color. So this is more like a natural wood rolling pin. I have one at home that's I think it's a non-stick one, so it's like a darker gray. You could do that. You do it the oak stain also, and then do your gingerbread men white. You wanted to do that, the ones that press into it. I am gonna do one more coat on my gingerbread men just to make them a little bit darker, the ones that go in the rolling pin. I think my main gingerbread man is fine, but just to make the others a little bit darker, just stand out on that natural color. And then you only have to do one of these stands, okay? Because they stack on top of each other. So don't make the mistake and try to stain both of them. You only have to do one. If you want to do a little stain, you could paint this red like your background or white. I like the stain because it goes on quick and it looks great. It just blends with everything. It ties the piece together at that point. Okay, so I'm gonna let that dry. We got our background going. I'm going to close up my paints now. Get some of this gluing together. Gotta make room. Gotta make room to be able to do that. So while our base is drying some, then I'm gonna glue that to clamp it together. So this feels a little rough to me. So I'm trying to find my piece of sandpaper somewhere here. And we're just going to sand that down a little bit. You do get a little piece of sandpaper in your kit, and I know I used it earlier, so it's gotta be here somewhere. It's gotta be somewhere, but I'm not finding it, so I am going to swap over to a little sanding block. We have these in the studio. I keep one on my little sanding table, my cleaning table at home. It works so great too. It's a little piece that comes in your kit, works just fine too. When we paint wood, when we add that moisture from the paint, it raises the grain on your product, on your things. So sometimes you'll find that things are a little rough feeling. If you find that, just go ahead and give it a quick light sand. It doesn't need to take a lot, just a little bit to smooth that out so that it feels nice and smooth. Let's see what area where I want to add a little bit more paint. See, it's still wet in that sponge, so it's good. Okay, now it's time to start gluing. So same thing, wood glue is what comes in your kit, or if you want to get some of our Star Bond, it is a gap filling super glue type thing. Doesn't take very much, little dots on the back, and it holds very well and dries fast. But the wood glue works perfectly fine that we give you. But if you wanted to get some Star Bond in your next box, just place an order for that. Put a little note in your order and say ship with my next maker box, and we'll just pop it right in your maker box with you if you're one of those that we ship to. So our little piece of icing or batter, you can make this chocolate looking if you like to make chocolate cake. You can make this little piece of batter or icing, whatever you want it to be, and it just fits right up here at the top of your spoon. Just angle that the way you like it. And then we got our rolling pin. So cute. Everything is scored on the back of this, so you know exactly where everything goes. That's why I love this project. Projects like these are so easy. You don't have to think about it. The only problem some people run into is that if they don't put things in the right place, then things don't fit, especially if it's a tighter fitting thing. Like some of our projects are very puzzly, so you do have to be a little bit more sure of where you're putting things down. Just take your time. And then the big heart goes on your mixing bowl, and your whisk goes over here. And those you can put however you want them to be. So no right or wrong way there. It's just a stack. Put it how you like it. And then, like I said, those 4 little gingerbread men go right across your rolling pin so that you can make that indented look. When I do something like this, oh, my rolling pin still is a little wet, so I'm gonna wait on that, but I'm just gonna space out my gingerbread men. I would not put my gingerbread men on and just start willy-nilly gluing them down. You say that word, willy-nilly? I like to space them out and then pick them up and do them one at a time. That way I know they're spaced out in the right way. Okay, I'm gonna start with my words. When I'm doing this, I'm not like squeezing this out. It's like barely is any coming out at the time, and I'm just going around the outside edge. Especially on something that's curly Q like this, you don't want part of your letter sticking up and not stuck down. So I do like to make sure there's a little bit of glue everywhere, but it's like just a very tiny amount. You don't need much. You can use your little ninja brush with the wood glue. And then on a bigger piece like this, where it's a bigger, I'm still gonna get those outside edges, but you don't have to do it every single spot. Okay, but wherever it like sticks out, the top, the edge, curly cues that could break off, you definitely want to make sure you get some glue on those. Tap it down, even if you're doing the wood glue, tap it down over here so your wood glue does not ooze out all over to your project. Follow the score lines. I usually line up on one edge on a bigger piece like this, and then work it until it falls right in place. Some people need to be right over top of this to do it, and that's always not a bad idea too. Then we're just working our way down, gluing our letters on. Always tap them off just in case. If it oozes out, you get like this white hazy look. I'm gonna stop here real quick and I'm gonna glue my base together. I do make sure I get it everywhere on this base, especially a thin coat in that middle area, just because you want your base to be stuck together good. Make sure you put the stained piece on top, and then if you've got clamps, now is a good time to use them. Clamp it together. I usually would do 3 on a piece like this. Make sure it doesn't slide when you clamp it down like that one just slid on me some. So I'm gonna go back and just slid it back where I want it to be. And then it's got a hole in the middle, so I clamp on either side in this middle area so that I'm getting both sides. Now that can set off to the side. Finish our word while that's drying. Okay, we are almost done getting these letters on. This is the part where there's not too much exciting happening. So like I said, there wasn't a lot of new techniques with this one. It's really more just what did I paint what each color. But it's just a fun, super cute project. Love it. Feel free to change up the colors, make it look how you want it to look. I'm probably gonna do mine with some of that teal like I did on my snow globe and not use the red because it just doesn't go in my kitchen as much. Although I have a big red KitchenAid mixer on the counter just because I used to have a kind of red kitchen and it doesn't really stand out, but I don't know. We'll see once I get there. Okay, now I can go back and do my little gingerbread boys now that they're spaced out. My rolling pin is dry and in place and not trying to slide around on me. So I'm gonna start with the 2 on the edge. Need a little bit more glue than that. You do have to put enough for it to stick down. Okay. Oh, so cute. Okay, and we just have our little gingerbread boy to do. So sometimes when you've got areas like his buttons, I like to just tap the glue right to the buttons. And if you care what orientation your little buttonholes go, pay attention to that. If you don't care about that kind of thing, don't worry about it. This is where you can be as OCD as you want to be. Do you want all those buttonholes lined up the same way, or do you not care? I will use my tweezers to put this little heart on and get some glue on it. I'm just using from my scrap pile. You can use scrap pile of your Star-Bond or your wood glue. And then I'm gonna do the little trick for the rest of these pieces by putting a little strip of Star-Bond, and it's like little, don't go crazy. And then you wanna make sure you know where your piece is going, where your icing piece is going, and which direction before you put glue on it, because they do have a particular way that they go on. So definitely figure out where it goes and that you've painted the correct side, because that it can also be a problem. And so if you need to repaint it, because it won't follow along with the score lines and match, and it'll look odd if you don't know that. So before you put glue on it, make sure it is lined up in the right spot. This would be the time that if it's not, you can go back real easy and paint it the right way. Because every single one of these I've picked up have been turned the wrong way. So if I had glue on them, that would not be good. There we go. It would be a disaster. And I'd have glue everywhere and it would make me mad. So don't drive yourself crazy. Check it before you glue it. Then the last thing that we've got to do for this is he has no eyes. So does that bother you or does it not bother you? So you got to decide that. You can use some black and do some little dot eyes if you want. If you have some black from before, you could also use black on the buttons if you have black out. So we're going to use the same technique we used for the snow dots in dipping in the white, dipping the end of our Ninja brush right into the white paint, and just doing a little dot eye, little white icing dot eye. You could use that little technique I used earlier by taking the yellow sponge and rounding off the ends and adding a little bit of pink to his cheeks if you wanted to. That's cute. I'm just gonna keep him a more simple gingerbread man now. Little gingerbread boy. Okay, so after that, all that is left to do for this project is take the clamps off here, and then you can decide whether or not you want to glue it in your base. So it goes in like that, and then it's glued in. So there is your Baking Spirits Bright shelf sitter. How cute is he? All the little details in this are adorable. Look at that rolling pin. Tell me that's not adorable. So enjoy, make sure and post it online. Thank you. Okay, we are down to our final project. I'm gonna move over to get out of the sun. This is for our Gotta Have It level, and this is 5 cute little gingerbread inspired ornaments. I'm only going to show you one of them. You paint them and do them all the same. You don't have to sit here and watch me paint 5 ornaments because they are exactly the same. So we're just going to do one of each style today. Definitely on your ornaments, do the back side because you will see them from both sides of your tree, believe it or not. I always like to do the back side of my ornaments. So I'm going to start with that. I always like to start with the back. We're going to use our oak stain, dipping our yellow sponge into our oak stain and just spreading that out. We are just doing them the same gingerbread style. Feel free to paint them any way you want to, but you got some snowflakes and you got some hearts, real cute. And obviously you can paint them whatever color you want. Let that dry for just a second. Go ahead and start your white coat for your front icing piece. I cut down one of my other sponges from before. Starting new, dipping that sponge in, scraping off all the excess, and then just a light hopping on that. And you're just gonna do the same thing for all your ornaments, unless you wanna paint them different colors. If you've got, you can use the other colors that came in this box or paints that you have from previous maker boxes. Anything works for sure. You can do them however you want. We did give you the ribbon and stuff and little beads for this, but those work with all the colors. It's very neutral, so that's what's great about it. I'm just gonna paint this real quick, and then we are gonna show you how we assemble our ornaments and put the ribbons and stuff on. Keep it real simple for you, but finishing an ornament, it's like everything's in the details. When you add that ribbon to the top, what ribbon you choose to hang it with, whatever you're using to hang it on the tree, it all makes a difference to your ornament. Okay, so we got one good coat on the little white icing piece. This is now dry, so I'm gonna do the front of it, getting down in there in the stain, but we still have enough. Stain goes a long way. That's why you're gonna get a little bit of a smaller container. It's also a little more pricey than paint. If you always wonder, why do I get just this tiny little thing of stain? Those are the 2 reasons. It goes a lot farther. I've still got almost half of a container left in here. Put this lid back on tight and it will last you for a while for other projects. Always put your lids back tight on your paints. And now this is ready for its second coat. And then we will glue this one together. So this is pretty much gonna be rinse and repeat 5 times. You definitely don't need to watch me do that 5 times. I do want to show you how we hang our ribbon on. I always love the Gotta Have It level project. It just ties everything in together. It's like the last little thing that you get with it, and that's so cute. It just works together. So I love having that level. Okay, so we did give you a piece of ribbon. We're just gonna dog ear that ribbon, what it's called. So we took this piece of ribbon, we're gonna fold it in half, lengthwise, and then just make a V starting at the side. Let's see if I can get it there. Yeah, starting at the V, go to the corner and cut. And then hopefully your scissors are doing better than mine just did. There is a little piece of wire in here, so that's why I did it. So then you have that. And you can do a couple of these at a time if you got good scissors to speed things up if you want. Okay, get that ready while this was drying. Now we can glue this down. Make sure you have enough on each point for sure, especially on these snowflake style in the middle. And it's really all you need. Everything else will stay stuck down. Tap off any excess. You don't want it oozing. And then this one has a heart in the middle. So look at where your hanger is and put that heart facing the right way in the middle. Is it a big deal? No. If you're OCD, it probably will be a big deal, but that is up to you. So once that is there and together, you are then going to take your piece of twine that we gave you, fold it in half, okay? So you're gonna make a little point here at that halfway point. Stick that from the back of your ornament to the front. It's going that point, okay? Then you're gonna make a little loop with your finger and you're going to take that twine up through it. While it's still open, you can cinch that ribbon, slide it in, okay? This is a little bit easier for you. And then while it's on the table, pull that tight, okay? Pull it tight and get it cinched in place, okay? Then go ahead and take those two strings, separate them, and do a little knot down, okay? It's easier if you just keep it down, but I'm just showing you up here. So keep it straight on the table and do that. That's gonna hold that ribbon on place. That's from every year. It's not gonna come off, okay? Then you're gonna take both those strings and you're gonna take both of them and get them through that little bead, okay? Sometimes it's easier to take a pair of tweezers and push that up through, okay? And then you can grab them on the other side, okay? Then you can tie a little knot here just by taking those two strands together and then tying through there and pushing that down onto your bead. That will hold your bead in place. This is an optional step. If you want your bead to move around, you can. If you've got a big hole in your bead, you can do that twice. This has just got a little hole, so I only need to do it once. And then I go up here towards the top and do the same thing, leaving space to hang my ornament, okay? So then I just pull that up like that. And then you can trim that top where you threaded it through the bead, if it's bothering you. And then you have a nice finished ornament. So this ribbon, if you want to change out to a different ribbon and use this for something else, you can. The little beads are cute. These have a shiny, so I wouldn't recommend painting them. We do have unfinished wood beads if you want to do other ornaments and add on wood beads. That's also an option. You're going to have 5 of these little ornaments, different styles. You've got hearts and snowflakes. So super cute project for the gotta have it level. So we hope you enjoyed this month's Maker Box. Please share your photos. Can't wait to see them on our Facebook group. So Merry Christmas.